This is not the America that I know.
Christopher, we said we're not talking politics.
I'm not going to ruin Thanksgiving, I promise.
You treat people who don't agree with everything you say like they're morons.
Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. You're a moron.
Shut up!
Well, that scene could be reality for many Americans when they sit down at the dinner table with family tomorrow. Issues ranging from the upcoming 2024 election to the Israel-Hamas war could make it harder to break bread if an argument erupts. So, how do you talk turkey without ruffling feathers? Well, joining me now is Denise Gitsham. She's political commentator and author of a great new book called Politics for People Who Hate Politics. And a lot of people do hate politics. I have to say, I don't think I've ever had a situation like this amongst family. But it does happen?
Definitely happens from what I hear. My family tended to agree on most issues as well. So, but you know, even amongst people who agree, none of us have political twins. So we all have some degree of difference in how we think. I think the key is not whether or not we agree, it's how we disagree.
Okay, so if somebody brings up something, especially let's talk about the war, for example.
Yeah.
If you have a young person coming back from college
yeah.
and saying that they think that Israel is in the wrong here,
yeah.
How do you deal with it?
This is something that I've actually had to personally deal with as I go on TV and talk about these issues all the time. How do I speak about the issue from a perspective of humility, curiosity, and honor? To me, my whole spiritual world is really focused on speaking the truth in love. And I don't always nail it. In fact, my book is really all about how many mistakes I've made and what I've learned in the process. But the way that I would engage in a conversation like that is I would seek to understand what's underneath that comment. What is it that you're really trying to say? Are you expressing empathy for the other side? Is it a perspective that I should share? Is this something that I can see your perspective on and still disagree on and still cling to our relationship to preserve that unity?
I really love that. Curiosity,
yes,
humility, and love.
Yes.
I also think that it's good for people to have like a go-to change the subject line.
Yeah.
Right? Something fun. Like everyone might have an opinion about
right.
Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. So like to find something, or where do you want to travel to in 2024? What are you most looking forward to in 2024?
How about the Warriors? It would be mine. But you know, we're not all that disciplined. I think sometimes we tend to dig in and we're like a dog on a bone. I know that I have definitely been that way more often than not in my political career. And so I think as long as we don't really need to have a distraction if we're really engaged and our intention is really to understand and love that other person and meet them where they are. But again, unity does not connote conformity. I think it's so important to speak the truth. Mm-hmm. That's really an important part. Otherwise, we feel like we're compromising ourselves.
I was looking at this article in the USA Today, and this woman, she said her 4 adult children have not spent the holidays with her since she voted for Donald Trump in 2020. And she said, I love my children, and these have been the worst years of my life. But hopefully this year they're going to get back together.
I hope so.
Because I don't want anyone to ever lose a friend or a family member because of politics. That seems like something we should not do.
Exactly.
What about if you know someone is a troublemaker? Right? Like you know that someone's coming to dinner that you're just already, like you are anxious today because
right.
you know that person's going to be there. Any tips for that?
We all have that friend, don't we? Well, you know, there's nothing you can do about what people are going to say. Unfortunately, we're only responsible for keeping our eyes on our own paper and speaking the truth that we have in love. And so really, there's nothing you can do. The best way that I could found to diffuse situations like that is just saying, hey, you know that we're going to disagree on this issue. You know that I can speak till I'm blue in the face and I'm not going to change your mind.
Right.
And you're not going to change my mind. But let's just figure out how to just respectfully disagree and really cling to the relationship part of this whole
yep.
situation.
I mean, or you could throw mashed potatoes in their face.
You could. I mean that probably won't help,
that's
but
not
yes.
really practicing curiosity, humility, and love. Yes. But I love those characteristics as something
yes.
to keep in mind
yes.
as we go through the holiday season and beyond into the election year. Denise Gitsham, thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, you bet. John?